Warning: Tsukihime is an adult visual novel with themes and depictions of sex, sexual violence, rape, gore, and abuse. Warnings will be placed before any of these pop up in the video. Just be advised that these themes are in the story. Hello, and welcome back to Tsukihime. Last time, Shiki learned more about his father while noticing some tension between Akiha and Kohaku. We ended the part in another dream of murder at the school, before reaching the end of Chapter 6. This time, we start Chapter 7. Evil at Every Corner, 1. Shiki wakes up in a panic. Last night's dream has physically and mentally stirred him up. It is clear in his mind, and the pleasure displayed disgusts him. His hands are clean, but he thinks for a moment that they are red like before. His mind flashes back to the night conversation between the two killers in Chapter 5, but he doesn't remember when that talk happened. As he tries to get his memory in order, a strong headache pounds, and he feels the need to vomit. I'm scared. I'm scared of the fact that I can't remember. Feels like a Tohno Shiki I don't know is killing people, and in order to hide it is deceiving the Tohno Shiki that is me. And I sense someone in the hallway. Who's there? I call out. Knock, knock. Please excuse me, Hisui says as she enters the room. It's just a normal morning scene. Ah, is it because she is acting so naturally? My pounding heart instantly calms down. Good morning, Shiki-sama. Hisui? Yes, it is time, so I have prepared your change of clothes already. Shiki-sama, are you not feeling well? No, that's not it. I feel fine, there's nothing wrong. I get up from bed as if to prove my words. Morning, Hisui. I'll go to the sitting room after I change, so please go ahead of me. Yes, well then, please excuse me. Hisui quietly closes the door and leaves. After watching her go, I take a deep breath. Why am I feeling down like this? Probably because I found out about my old man's illness yesterday. Just because my symptoms are similar to his, maybe I'm being too paranoid. Yeah, ever since I came back, I've been so tired. I shouldn't think about that dream. Well then, it's almost 7. Like yesterday, I should be able to enjoy this morning. And then, unthinkably, I step into a sitting room and it hits me that I forgot something very important. Oh crap! I swallow my words. Akiha, Hisui, and Kohaku-san are in the sitting room. Everything seems just like normal, but after what happened yesterday, I'm sure it'll be really awkward. Akiha and Kohaku-san seem to have reached an understanding, but I haven't spoken with Akiha yet. Thinking how Akiha acted yesterday, I'm pretty sure Akiha is still mad at me. Good morning, Nissan. Did you sleep well? Huh? And Akiha greets me with a big smile. My mind freezes at such an unexpected event. Akiha still has a big smile and just stands there. Or as I just stand there. Akiha is way too cheerful and it makes me think she's planning something. Shiki-sama, would you care to sit down? Yeah, if you want me to sit, I will. I fearfully look at Akiha as I sit down across from her. Morning, Akiha. You seem to be in a good mood today. Is that so? Certainly, I feel much better, so I probably look less pale than before. No, it is far beyond not looking pale. Anyway, first I have to thank you. I really wanted to thank you yesterday, but I was feeling rather ill and did not have an opportunity. Akiha looks directly at me. There isn't even a trace of yesterday's coldness. It also seems like the air of danger has disappeared. Thank me? I didn't really do anything to deserve that. That's not true. You took care of me when I was sick, right? Because you embraced me, I was determined. I was extremely happy that night. She says something that catches me totally off guard. And then, I feel incredibly heavy pressure against my neck. Is that what she said? Yeah, or against my back. I feel an incredibly heavy pressure against my back. I glance behind me. There, Hisui and Kohaku-san stare at me in a manner far different than usual. Akiha, don't say things that might give people a wrong impression. You were in so much pain, I just supported you, that's all. Oh, I suppose wrapping your arms around me is just supporting me. Akiha giggles softly. Staring. They're staring at me. The stares of the two behind me get even heavier. Now look, you're acting odd, and... Are you enjoying making fun of me? Yes, a lot. Looking at your troubled face is fun. This is just too weird. Is this really Akiha's personality? You have some strange hobbies, bothering me in the morning and lecturing me at last night. Well, I thought so at first, but you really must have something against me. I ended with a sigh. All of a sudden, Akiha averts her gaze. I'm very sorry. What I did yesterday was stupid. There was something wrong with me, and I've already apologized to Kohaku. You apologized to Kohaku-san? I blurt this out in surprise. Not only did she apologize, but she apologized to Kohaku-san. Hey, Nissan, what kind of person do you think I am? I was at fault, so it is only natural that I apologize to Kohaku, right? When she says that, I get a vague mental image of her acting as a strict mistress. Nissan, you are thinking of something bad, aren't you? She's sharp. As happy as she is, it doesn't do anything to dull her sense of perception. Shiki-san, I hate to ruin your fun, but would you like to have some breakfast? It's almost time, so I thought I should make some. Oh, I forgot. I'm not so much hungry as I am thirsty, though. Oh, that won't do, Shiki-san. You collapsed yesterday, so you need to eat to regain your strength. Even if you don't feel like eating, you should have some food. Get him some cereal. I feel like that kind of helps. What she says is true, but I just don't feel like it right now. After seeing that dream, I can't bring myself to eat. Nissan, if Shiki-sama does not feel well, I do not think you should force him. Hisui-chan, you're too indulgent when it comes to Shiki-san. Huh? Shiki-san, you're not feeling well again this morning? Kohaku-san stares at me. As if on cue, Hisui and Akiha add their serious stares on me as well. I guess I really can't go on fooling myself. To tell the truth, I do feel a little under the weather. I can eat, but could you make it something I don't need to chew? I feel pretty bad, and I can't really taste anything. After telling the truth, Kohaku-san says, "Oh, I see," and looks a little downcast. As the one in charge of cooking, she probably feels something about what I said. Shiki-sama, I think you are not feeling well because there was a change in your environment. So if the mansion is not suitable for you, maybe you should go back and live with the Arima family for a while. Hisui's opinion is driven by a sincere concern about my health. Ever since I came back, my life has been strange. Since that promise from 8 years ago has apparently been forgotten, maybe it's better for my health if I go back and live with the Arimas. Yeah, that may be good too. Although I've only been here a week, if I don't seem to get used to it soon, I'll leave for a while and regain my health. Well, I might be jumping the gun a little bit, I add. And then, suddenly, Akiha stands up from her sofa. Oh, that will not do, Nissan. You finally came back, so please do not leave again. If you say you are going to leave one more time, I will kill you, Nissan. Oh, Jesus. Akiha smiles as she says the joke and disappears towards the lobby. Hisui-chan, it's time for Akiha-sama to go to school. Please accompany her to the door. I'll be taking care of Shiki-san's breakfast. With a simple yes, Hisui walks after Akiha. Well then, I'll make you something easy for you to eat. Please wait just a moment. As Kohaku heads for the kitchen, Shiki falls on the couch, still in shock from Akiha's threatening statement. The joking line was delivered with so little levity that it won't leave his head. We skip to lunchtime, and Shiki is in the school cafeteria. Arihiko isn't at school, so Shiki is there alone. As he sits and eats, the television broadcast catches his attention. It's replaying the morning news, which shows the back alley from his dream with the headline, "Vampire Serial Killer's New Victim." The victim did not die, but only suffered a loss of blood and was recovering in the hospital. The attacker is not known, but Shiki recognizes the victim. He starts to panic, as his conclusion that Yumizuka was the killer has now been proven false, and the only person who he thinks it can be now is himself. As Yumizuka's words bounce quickly around his head, he stops eating. He decides to skip the rest of the school day, and eventually finds himself at the scene of the crime. I come to the place I saw in my dream. There are several policemen around the area, and tape reading "Police Line Do Not Cross" is stretched across the alley. Exactly the same. Without a doubt, this is the place I went to in my dream. No, it wasn't a dream. I can't delude myself into thinking it is a dream any longer. Even if I stay here any longer, the cops will only stare at me. I can't go back to school now, so I guess I'll go back to the mansion. Shiki arrives before 2 p.m., and no one is in the lobby. He's visibly pale and starts to pass out. He manages to keep conscious as he heads for his father's room, determined to prove to himself that he's not sick like his father. The door is unlocked when he gets there. He locates the drawer with his documents, cuts open the lock, and starts reading it. In it is the information on the adopted Nania child and the young lives and horrible fates of the Tohno family.
After, he reads his father's personal journal, where he explains the Tohno family's mixed blood that gives them special powers. After, an entry dated 9 years ago displays his loosening control and sanity.
I am no longer able to suppress my raging blood. I was able to obtain an orphan from a family of synchronizers, so this should help me strengthen my mind. However, it really is only a matter of time before I go insane. It is terrifying. When I come to, I find that I can't even remember half of the day. During that time, I'm forcing my inversion impulse on that child. If this keeps up, it's only a matter of time before I completely lose my sanity and turn into a beast. I don't even know how much time I have left to myself as myself. No, if that child is here, I can probably last a few more years, but that child will not be able to bear it. After that child breaks, I will have to take my own life. It is incredibly ironic. I eliminated so many things in order to preserve myself, but in the end, I will probably have to commit suicide. Or maybe this is the curse of the Naniyas. I ended up adopting his son, but I guess I could not lift their grudge with such a thing. But I can't make up for the events of the past. If death is awaiting me, then I must accept it when the time comes. But until then, I must protect my children. Akiha's blood is weak. Unless she wishes it herself, she does not have to suffer the same fate. The problem is Shiki. That child is incredibly close to me. More than anything, I do not want that child to suffer my fate. If the Tohno blood is unnatural, I need to distance him as much as possible from the Tohno name and see how he will fare. I let out a deep breath and expel the air from my lungs. I take a break from reading. It makes me sick. The contents of my old man's journal are so far away from reality that it's plain weird. My old man didn't just have manic depression. Rather, he just became violent without his knowing. Just like the Tohno Shiki right now. That's strange. But that isn't what concerns me. He writes Shiki and Akiha strangely. Looking back at the family tree, I see that he writes Akiha using the Chinese characters for Autumn Leaves, while Shiki is written using the characters for Four Seasons. The characters for Four Seasons can certainly be pronounced as Shiki, but the characters in my name are intention and esteemed. I have a feeling that thinking too hard about this will be bad, but my train of thought does not stop. What are these synchronizers? Oh, we're putting it together. He's putting it together. That's not him. Maybe the adopted child? But I feel that's wrong too. Anyway, I'm only read halfway through all this. If I read it through completely, I might end up coming up with a solution. But do I really want to find out? I feel like vomiting. I can't stay standing. Hurry. I must hurry back to my room and sleep. It feels like there is something wrong with my head. But still, I decide to go back to reading the journal. The rest of it seems to be a record of some sort. The date starts in the summer of 8 years ago, and about a month after that. I don't understand it yet, but I continue to look through it. Month day. My son Shiki succumbed to his Tohno blood. Shiki. He killed my adopted son, who happened to be there. The adopted son is the heir of the house of Nananya. Nananya. But I guess it is a blessing in all the unfortunate events that he isn't the same family as the synchronizers, like Kohaku and Isui. Shiki's inversion impulse is terrible. So it was determined that he must be eliminated. I have my duty as the head of the Tohno household, but killing my own son is so difficult. The Tohno blood is stronger in Shiki than in Akiha. Talking about potential, I feel an older origin in Akiha's blood, but Shiki's Tohno blood runs much stronger. I assume that is why Shiki inverted before he became an adult. Shiki's powers are immortality and fusion. Shiki could not manage the awakened power and as a result killed the adopted Nanaya child, taking his life. I have to say it was a superb job for using his powers for the first time. Month day. Both Shiki and the adopted son managed to escape death. Month day. The problem of maintaining appearances to normal society still remains. Shiki has killed the adopted Nanaya child. I have covered the incident, but Shiki cannot be shown to the public. The wound I gave him hasn't healed and his figure has transformed. He is not in condition to be brought in front of others as Tohno Shiki. He cannot be called a human either. The Nanaya child still lives. As long as he lives, I've decided to use him. If there are any disagreements, I would like to hear them. Complementarity. The Nanayas are a family that produces killers. If that adopted family happens to stay alive, the link between him and Shiki may corrupt Shiki's mind. Even if Shiki regains his sanity, I cannot deny the possibility of the Nanaya's child's influence turning him into a killer. To prevent this from occurring, we must send him somewhere where we can keep an eye on him. But we cannot allow him near the Tohno mansion either. I should have raised him by an appropriate branch of the family. Month day. The Tohno blood that has awakened within Shiki. Maybe it is because he was so close to death, but he has regained his sanity like before. But I don't know if something like will cause him to invert again. Even though it tears me apart, I cannot allow Shiki near the Tohno mansion either. I place him in the care of a trusted servant. Month day. I put my adopted son from the Nanaya family into the care of another branch of our family. Akiha hates me. Akiha has lost both of her brothers at the same time, so I suppose it is only natural. Month day. I started to raise Akiha as the next head of the household. Akiha has more than enough talent to carry out her duties as the head of the household. Shiki may have the ability of immortality, but Akiha has the power to plunder. As siblings, both of them have the ability to share and take life energy. It is regretful. If only she had been born 10 years ago, I would have been able to eliminate the Nanayas without help from the Kishimas. But I have to be careful. Her ability to plunder is a double-edged sword. She might plunder someone's entire concept while plundering their heat. Like me, I have to teach her not to attract the curse of an enemy. Month day. Akiha tries to visit the Arima residence. I cannot let her and my adopted son see each other. I place her in a boarding school so that her freedom is limited. Month day. Recently, my condition has been getting worse. It seems like the daughter of the synchronizers is not enough now. Month day. For the first time in a long time, I've come back to myself. How many months has it been since I last picked up this pen? There probably will not be a next time. I will have to finish writing here. I gave instructions for this to be given to my daughter Akiha from after my death. I don't know if Akiha will ever read this, but if she does read it, it is to be destroyed. This is my only request for my daughter to fulfill. What is this? The child adopted 10 years ago. I completely forgot about that. I killed him? That summer day 8 years ago when I received my wound. He killed me. That summer day 8 years ago when I received this wound. Nausea wells within me. I feel sick. That memory that I had forgotten until now runs through my head. I understand. Everything has been written down, so I have to accept it. Besides, everything falls into place. The reason I was adopted by the Arimas, the reason I was disinherited as the eldest son. It's nothing. In other words, I, Shiki, was only a replacement for the one named Shiki, in all caps. What is this? Cursing myself, I toss the journal to the side. There's no need for me to investigate any further. Staying here any longer is just a waste of time. The day ends. Collapsed on my bed, I just keep on thinking about the same thing. Thinking calmly, there were only two things I found out from that journal. That I am not a part of the Tohno family. That the Nanaya lineage turns out a large number of killers. I don't have any blood ties to Tohno Makihisa. In other words, those dreams of murder have to be my own. If that is the case, there's only one thing left to do. I hear voices come from the lobby. I wonder if Akiha is back. I get up from the bed. I want to hear the truth from Akiha. Gathering up my courage, I knock on the door. Akiha, I want to talk. Nissan, please come in. Her voice is bright and cheerful. Taking a breath to compose myself, I open the door. It certainly is rare for you to come to my room like this, Nissan. Just like this morning, Akiha has a smile on her face. Seeing that, I just stand there wordlessly, wanting to go back. I guess after all, I have felt that myself as Tohno Shiki and my sister Tohno Akiha are more important to me. But still, there is something I have to ask her. Akiha, yes, what is it, Nissan? Akiha appears to be looking forward to a fun conversation. Little does she know this is going to suck. Gritting my teeth, I look her seriously in the eye. Please tell me about the Nanaya family. I think I have a right to know. In that instant, Akiha freezes like a puppet whose strings were cut. Akiha wordlessly stares at me. If you won't answer, then I'll rephrase my question. My old man, Tohno Makihisa, has two personalities, right? And not just him. Almost all members of the Tohno family have some sort of illness. I used to think that's what I had, but that's wrong. My anemia came from that incident 8 years ago. Because I know. You were adopted by the Tohno family, right? Saying that, she smiles for some reason. Akiha? Akiha slowly and elegantly walks to the window as if she was in a play. The curtains billow in the breeze. Placing her hand on the window, she turns around. Oh, I've seen this image before. I have context now. Nissan, you are adopted by the Tohno family. Your real name is Nanaya Shiki. As you say, your health condition is due to the accident 8 years ago. You appear to know that already that the members of the Tohno family are different from most humans. Akiha succinctly says the thing that I would have had the most difficulty asking. Akiha, that. It is okay. It was only a matter of time, and I did not like hiding it. Now that you know, there is no need. No, maybe there never was a need. Then there's no need to put up with any of this. Is that not right, Nissan? Akiha says this with her voice full of confidence. Akiha, so like I thought Yes, you are the one father adopted 10 years ago, but you do not remember it. Do you remember the Shiki who used to play with us? No, I don't. That's right. It is because father hypnotized you. Shiki was someone who could not resist his Tohno blood. You may not remember it, but that day 8 years ago, you protected me from Shiki. You sacrificed yourself to protect me from the bloodthirsty Shiki. That is how you were killed by Shiki, and Shiki was killed by father. It is the duty of the head of the Tohno household to dispose of those who are no longer human. Huh? Killed? But I'm still alive, right? Yes. By a miracle, you survived. You remember what happened afterwards, right? You were taken to a hospital, and the day you returned, you were adopted by the Arima family. That is when father hypnotized you. You were not fully healed, so your heart and mind were weak. So you easily believed what father told you. I see. Then, that's enough. If you understand, then there's no more need to talk. I'm not a member of the Tohno family, right? Then you don't have to force yourself to call me brother. Soon I, an outsider, should leave this place. Don't get me wrong, Nissan. I do not call you Nissan for the sake of society. Do you not remember? Even before you were killed by Shiki, I called you Nissan. It has nothing to do with you being adopted. I knew from the very beginning you were not my true brother, and you accepted that too. So, no matter what you think, you are Tohno Shiki. So please stay here in the mansion. Akiha's words make me happy, but I don't understand. Why does she accept me, an outsider? Why? I'm not even your real brother. Goodness, after I have said all this, you still do not understand? You are the only one I will call Nissan. Even if you do not wish it, I just want you to be by my side. Because I love you, Nissan. What? Akiha says something totally unbelievable. I'm happy that she likes me as her brother, but as long as this situation remains, I can't be here. No, I'm not the kind of person you think I am. You see Shiki as a killer, but I'm just a killer like him. A killer? What do you mean? I can't keep it a secret any longer. Everything I did up until now, the dream I had last night, the bloodstains I cannot explain, and that dream where Akiha killed me. I can't trust myself. I thought those were just dreams, but my old man wrote that the Nanaya family, But my old man wrote that the Nanaya were a family that produced killers. If I become like Shiki, I don't know what I will do to you, Akiha. I lay it all out to her from the bottom of my heart. But after blinking in surprise, she tries not to laugh. What's so funny? This isn't a joke. You may not believe me, but I really have dreams of sucking people's blood. Akiha is still giggling. What is this? She makes me look stupid worrying about all of this. Yeah, it is funny. See, you can't be a vampire, because you are from the Nanaya family. Your blood is only human. Besides, the Nanayas are not killers. Certainly, from father's point of view, they are. But the only ones that the Nanaya feel a homicidal impulse towards are non-humans. So what you saw had to be just dreams. And even those dreams are probably Shiki transmitting to you. So it isn't something you want to see them. Shiki transmitted them? Come to think of it, my old man did write something about that. Shiki stole some of my life, so there is a link between us. I see. Then the one who is killing on the streets now, even if what I saw was a dream, there are victims showing up in the streets in reality. The killer is real. I feel like I've met him before. Or was that a dream too? No, putting that off to the side, if there's a killer on the streets, then Shiki is still alive. Eh? Akiha, who was just giggling until now, becomes serious. Akiha, in my old man's journal, he wrote that Shiki was still alive. In other words, Father's journal? Akiha tilts her head, curious. My old man wrote that Shiki and I were connected. Then maybe what I saw were really his dreams. No, it's more likely that he was actually doing. That may be a possibility. Father's death was suspicious, and it did seem like someone who was being raised in the underground cell. Wait a minute, Akiha. Do we have such a thing like an underground cell here? Oh, of course. There are lots of members of the Tohno family who lose their sanity, so it is only natural to lock them away before they can hurt the outside world, right? Well, that isn't all it's used for. When I got into trouble, Father would lock me up down there. That's fucked up. For some reason, Akiha sounds like she's having fun. A chill runs down my spine. I get it. We'll stop talking about it. We have something to do about Shiki, though. If Shiki really is wandering the streets killing people, then we have to stop him. Is that so? We really do not need to concern ourselves about him, do we? It is not the job of the police to take care of killers. What? Akiha, what are you saying? He's killing people, but he's your brother. He has to pay for his crimes, but still. Goodness, Nissan. You really are too nice of a person. Taking a breath, she brushes her hair back. You are my only relative. I do not care about Shiki, so you do not have to worry about him. No, we can't just do that. Do you think the police can catch him so easily? And before then, there will be more victims. I will not do anything. That is not our responsibility. She says this and looks me directly in the eye. Hey, let's not speak of these matters anymore. Talking about murder and killers is boring, isn't it? What? I try to tell her that it has to do with our family, but I can't. Her eyes pierce into me deeply. Staring at me like that, her eyes seem to take away my resolve. It seems you understand. Well then, will you return to your room? I just came back from school, so there are some things I have to do. Like Akiha says, there isn't anything else to talk about. Still not convinced, I turn away from her. I go to leave her room, and all of a sudden, from behind me, a voice tells me to stop. What is it? Aren't we done talking, Akiha? Akiha stares at me silently. Nissan, you are the most important thing to me. If I had lost my memories of you over these 8 years, I would not be who I am. Because you were here, I was able to be myself. You are more important to me than myself, so I wanted you to like me, as always. Or always. True sincerity. Akiha looks at me like I'm the only thing she sees. This is just a selfish request, right? This family and I are just a burden to you. That is why I always feared that you would distance yourself from me. But that's just me worrying, right? Because you came back here. Because you came back for my sake. She says happily. Seeing her smile, my chest hurts. That's right. I came back because I could not leave you alone here. But now, I'm beginning to think I was wrong. I did come back because I wanted to watch over her, but she's wrong. Her eyes are so sincere that I can't lie. But Akiha, this isn't the only reason I came back. I came back for the sake of the child I made a promise with. This is something that's even more precious than my feelings toward Akiha, and something I can't lie about. Stop it. I do not want to hear it. You came back, so that is that. So anything else, such as your feelings, I do not need. She looks away. Akiha looking down like that just for no reason seems very dangerous. Go back to your room. Please do not look like that in front of me, Nissan. Not knowing what to say, I silently leave her room.
Shiki spends the night staring out at the moon. He can't sleep, but not out of fear of seeing another murder, but because of the threatening-looking Akiha from earlier. At some point, he gets extremely thirsty, and he heads to the kitchen. There, he downs a glass of water quickly, which he finds extremely pleasant. He thinks of it like how it felt when he drank blood in his dream, but before he can think about it further, he hears footsteps.
Someone's coming. I hear the footsteps coming closer. Soft, small footsteps that barely echo in the deep night. Oh, it's Hisui. Shiki-sama? What are you doing this late at night? Hisui? I was just thirsty, so I thought I'd get something to drink. Shiki-sama, if that is the case, please call for me. At night, you should be resting in your room. Walking around here at night is not good. Hisui speaks plainly. Huh? There's something wrong with her words. Telling me it's not good to walk around at night means she's telling me not to go out of my room at night. No, more than that. Hisui and Kohaku-san have worked here since they were young. Very young. So, would it not be strange for them to know that I was adopted? Hisui, there is something I wanted to ask. Is it okay? Yes. If that is the case, then let us go back to your room. This is not somewhere to be having a conversation. No, this is fine. If it's just something small anyway. Or it is just something small anyway. Hisui tilts her head. I take a deep breath. If she doesn't know, then asking her will be revealing a secret. But I don't intend to hide it anyway. I'll make it short. Did you know that I was adopted? Her shoulder shakes. That tells me she did know. I see. If you know, then Kohaku-san must know too. What's this? This really isn't a secret after all. Shiki-sama, that is... She says that as she lowers her eyes. I am very sorry. Even if you are adopted, there is no doubt that you are the eldest son of the Tohno family. Akiha-sama accepts you as her relative, and you are mine and Nissan's master. Thanks. If you say that, then I believe that I can stay here. Shiki-sama, please do not say things like that. This really is your true home. I know. That's what I think too. Even though it was for a short while, what happened here when I was a child is very important to me. I can't throw it away. Hisui looks visibly relieved. But still, I want to know. Before I came here, it was Nanaya? If you know, could you tell me what kind of child I was? I am sorry. Other than that you were the eldest son of the Nanaya line, I do not know. Makihisa-sama completely destroyed all the records. I see. Well, if he made me act as Tohno Shiki, then all the records of me as Nanaya Shiki probably were destroyed. But Shiki-sama, Nissan may know something. Huh? Hisui, why would Kohaku-san know anything? Nissan took care of Makihisa-sama ever since she was young. She may know more about the Tohno family than even Akiha-sama knows. Huh? Come to think of it, Kohaku-san did say that she was Makihisa's servant. But I thought that was just to take care of his condition once in a while. I didn't realize she was his servant from that young of an age. That Kohaku-san. Since she played with us every day, I can't picture her being near my old man all the time. To be honest, Hisui seems like she was more suited for that. Always looking down at me, Akiha, and Kohaku-san from inside the mansion. Is that true? But that's odd. Why would my old man tell Kohaku-san all these things he would not even tell Akiha? No, I do not think he told her directly. Since Nissan was always near Makihisa-sama's room in the mansion, I believe she had many chances to overhear Makihisa-sama thinking out loud. Always near my old man? But that's what Hisui, who stayed in the mansion all the time, did. Wait. Kohaku-san was always with my old man as a child. Hisui looks down. Something just went wrong here. The feeling of inconsistency comes back and everything falls back into place. Kohaku-san knew about the promise that only Hisui should know about. Hisui forgot about the promise made 8 years ago. But it might just be that I just reversed their roles in my memory. Thank you. Fucking guess. There we go. We're on track, everybody. If that's true, then... Hisui, I'll ask one more time, but do you remember about 8 years ago? Yes. About how I gave you that ribbon, right? That's right. After I left my room, you stopped me by the entrance and gave me a ribbon. Do you remember what color it was? It was white, but what about it? There's nothing wrong with her answer, but she is already wrong. Thud. The power drained from my legs and I collapsed onto the chair. How could I have been so wrong up until now? Shiki-sama? That's wrong, Hisui. I was given the ribbon under the tree in the garden, not by the entrance. Hisui gasps and falls into silence. Why? I don't get it. Why did Kohaku-san try to trick me? Why didn't she just tell me that she was the one I made the promise with? Shiki-sama, please do not tell Nissan about this. If she finds out, she will have nowhere else to go. All of a sudden, Hisui says this. If she finds out that I knew you two changed places? She silently nods. Then, it was you who played with us, and Kohaku-san was the one in the mansion, right? She silently nods. Why? Why did you act like you traded places? There's no point. Or were you guys playing around with me? It was not our intention to deceive you, Shiki-sama. We cannot even fully describe it ourselves how it came to be. It started 8 years ago. After you were adopted by the Arima family, I think I just became calmer than before. Nissan tried to cheer me up by acting very happy, and then we gradually traded our roles. But why? Why did it happen? Hisui, you were always so energetic. That is not true. I am naturally not active, but when you were there, I tried to follow you as hard as I could. Yeah, I remember. That girl who was always cheerful, always smiling. The most free-spirited, who would always worry about us. Who put up with the most, who acted like Kohaku-san would if she was younger. Really, I think you would be cheerful even if I wasn't there. That was your character. Trust me, since I, the one who followed after you, am saying this. Yes, those days were very fun. I think those were the best 2 years of my life. But something crumbled after you left, Shiki-sama. Akiha-sama started to hate Makihisa-sama, and Makihisa-sama became very strict with Nissan. The happy days were over. I gradually became very quiet and could not even work anymore. So Nissan took over for me, smiling like I always used to, running around like I used to. In turn, I took over Nissan's old role. That was the easiest for me. At the same time, it fulfilled Nissan's only wish. Kohaku-san's wish? I don't understand what she said. Only that Hisui really thinks about Kohaku-san. That is the only thing I could feel. Hisui, what do you mean by her wish? Nissan always wanted to be like me, but for my sake she held back. I think it is just an act for her to work in my place. She pretends to be me and kills her own will. She is just a doll that only acts like a Hisui from the past. I was scared of that, Nissan. Nissan lost her identity, and I realized that she was just living by acting out someone's role. I think that if I go back to my old self, Nissan will return to her old true self. Nissan said that this when we first traded places. It's okay, Hisui-chan. Until you become cheerful again, I will take your place. So no matter when, once you are cheerful again, I will give you back your role. I was scared of those words, and I thought that I should return to myself right away. But then by accident, I saw her walking around happily in the garden. Nissan really looked happy. I didn't know how I looked that way back then, but she was really happy. And all she was doing was walking by herself. Nissan was only pretending to be Hisui. Even still, she looked so happy. So, Nissan just does not realize it, but I understood that Nissan always wanted to be like that. I just could not destroy that. Biting her lip, Hisui holds back her tears in silence. Shiki-sama, please let Nissan stay the way she is. If you do not, she will lose her place. I can only nod to her words. But that definitely is not the correct choice. Kohaku-san has to pretend to be the Hisui from the past, and Hisui has to pretend to be the Kohaku-san from the past to protect that. Hisui has been watching Kohaku-san, who only knows how to live a lie. But still, she says she will live with her. That has to be so difficult. Shiki-sama, please promise me that you will not say anything to Nissan. Fine, but Hisui, are you okay with this? Hisui doesn't answer. Full of conflicting emotions, I get up from the chair. All I can do is leave the downcast Hisui behind in the kitchen.
As he enters the lobby, Shiki notices the front door is open. With Hisui in the kitchen, that leaves either Kohaku or Akiha as the reason why. He debates going outside, but his body begs for sleep. We are given a choice, but with last scene's revelation, there was no way I wouldn't take a look. Outside, he notices a presence, someone opening the front gate.
Akiha? Akiha looks quickly over her shoulder and exits the gate. Thump. Out of nowhere, my chest starts to pound. Thump, 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 thump. My heart seems to pulse with new life. I can feel the blood coursing through my body and the shaking of my fingers. A chill runs down my back. Despite that, my body feels like it's on fire. Akiha, what is she doing this late? I feel dizzy. I try to sort things out rationally, but I stop. Right now, I have to follow Akiha.
With his heart racing, Shiki follows an unsteadily moving Akiha throughout the town. His thirst comes back and his body grows in excitement. Around the park area, he loses sight of her. He decides to go back to the commercial district, trusting his instincts that she'll come back if he waits. This excitement reminds Shiki of his dreams, but he's wide awake this time.
This isn't a dream, then why is my blood burning as I'm following Akiha? It's like I want to kill Akiha. Thump, 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 thump. Bunch of thumps. I get it. There's a lot of thumps. Fuck, I skipped something. Sensing something, I instantly conceal myself. Akiha is coming. She looks around from side to side as if searching for something. There isn't anyone here, I guess. I hear her thinking aloud. I must be that close if I can hear her. Peering from the shadows, I look out onto the street. Oh, she's serious. She's doing stuff. My head aches. The air around me tenses. I collapse to the ground. I've never felt such pain before. It's so bad it makes me seriously think my skull just split open and I'm going to die. Ouch. Shaking my head, I stand up. I don't know how long I was out, but the night is quiet. Wait a minute. Why am I here? I am out on the main street. I saw Akiha by the gate, and after that, that's right, I followed her. What am I doing? I'm surprised at what I'm doing. Huh? An unpleasant smell pricks at my nose. A smell I've never known until now. The smell that stuck to my mouth during my dreams these past few days. From that alley. Getting a bad feeling, I run toward the alley. It's like a rehash of my dream last night. In the alley, there is a collapsed stranger. Despite the blood flowing from the neck, the person is still breathing. Everything before me turns to crimson. But this isn't a dream. Maybe it's because I've had all these dreams of murder, but I can think calmly. I go out to the street. I go to the nearest public phone and call the nearest hospital. After giving a fake name, I tell the location and condition of the victim, and I hang up the phone. Now, before the ambulance comes, I should head back to the mansion so no one sees me. After running without stopping, I can finally relax. I don't have anything to feel bad about, but I felt that getting involved would be dangerous, and I did the best I could. The person in the alleyway was still breathing, and the bleeding wasn't that bad, so I don't think it was life-threatening. As expected, running here with all my strength, including the big hill, was a little much. I'm completely out of breath. Crap! Dizziness assails me. I can feel my consciousness withdrawing. This isn't normal dizziness. If it's this bad, if I collapse, I won't be able to get back up for a while. Damn, I have to get back to my room before... I lean up against the stairs. I manage to take one step up the stairs. That's it, though. I collapse.
The night, like Shiki's consciousness, draws to a close. Shiki has finally realized the situation of the maids in the mansion, but Akiha remains a mystery to him, even after this midnight walk. This is all for this part of Tsukihime. Next time, we will go through Chapter 8, Evil at Every Corner 2.